What we have done, starting the new academic session, knowing that the session is about to begin, we have plans to have training workshops, for our teachers across the state. And the essence of this is to bring them to a fresh perspective on technologies or techniques in teaching and learning globally. Because academics in Nigeria shouldn't be different from that of Ghana and other parts of the world. So we're able to organize 2 days intensive training workshop for our teachers across the state, bringing professionals in the education industry, seasoned administrators, education administrators, and teachers who came to the various centers across the state and retrained our teachers. And it was a very fruitful exercise. Now our teachers have begun this new academic session and time with great zeal, new knowledge, new skills, and of course, surely it will transcend to the output, their input, and of course, the
output in classrooms.
Classrooms.
At the end of the day, was this made compulsory for all teachers, this training, or was it a voluntary?
No, it's a compulsory for all teachers, and it was free of charge. And I visited some of the centers, and teachers were very much impressed. We did that last time when I came on board, and I said it's going to be an annual, in fact, every session we'll do that.
Before resumption.
Yeah, before resumption, because knowledge is not iconic. What you felt was reliable as knowledge or information some time ago, they no longer hold water today. Techniques are changing, because we are living in a very complex society. So it's important that we bring our teachers to bear with these contemporary changes in teaching and learning techniques across the globe.
Right, as fantastic as this is, some people would ask the questions like, all right, now that they've learned this, what do they have on ground to be able to aid their work? We know that the government had announced the free education from the past administration, which is continuing now. And many have said, well, for this free education, the teachers have had their complaints, principals have had their complaints as to how do we run this school daily? How are we able to teach when we don't have some of these materials? What plans were on ground or are on ground for this as resumption just happened, I think, last week? And are there plans to handle all of these complaints going forward?
Yeah, very much. As the Commissioner for Education, before the commencement of the academic session, I sat back and looked at what do we need to do to take off, in a very smooth, pedestal. I looked at the issue of teaching aids for teachers, and I saw the approval of the governor of the state, which granted for the procurement of teaching aids, including the dusters, chalk for those using the chalkboard, the markers, pen, diaries, registers, and all these. These are being provided and being distributed to the teachers to aid the teachers. Also on the part of the students, because the government of the state has promised free education. We have mentioned that we have procured 1,292,000 copies of textbooks, encyclopedia, serials, and classics.
To be distributed free?
Free. They are printed there free of charge.
Would that be enough to cover the number of students in public schools we have?
That's the first, that's the first tranche. That is for the nursery, primary, and secondary schools. We took statistics. And that's why we made a provision with some even additional in case of any shortfall anywhere, And that is just for the first tranche. And these we continue, on an annual basis.
Which was going to be my next question.
Yes, it's
for the teachers too, the markers and the chalks and some other aids that they need. Does this happen annually or monthly or
as the session begins, we look at what the consumption. We have taken statistics. How many markers, how many cartons of chalk, will a teacher in a particular school use for 3 months or 4 months in the term, just in the order. And that was taken into consideration before the number that has been procured. So there will be no cause for a teacher to say, oh, I'm going to buy chalk, I'm going to buy diaries, I'm going to buy registers, I'm going to buy markers for my children. No.
Even for the books, when students use these books and then maybe I finish a notebook, do I have the luxury to go back to get another one from the government, or then it's not my parents' business to buy?
No, these books cover both the first term, second term, and the third term. For any academic session.
Textbooks and notebooks?
Yes, textbooks. I'm saying textbooks.
Okay, textbooks. Okay.
Yeah, textbooks. Because with school, children no longer read because the books are becoming very expensive in the bookshops or the markets, and parents are not able to provide these books for their children. So that's why the government, as part, of the continuity and constitution, mantra that, look, we must make sure that education is free. So Governor Osilaya Ifubara, Grand Service of River State, ensure that we continued and also concentrating on the gains of the previous, the past administration. And that's why these books have been paid for. We have taken delivery of these books that are being distributed now. And I'm sure in the next couple of days, every child, every student in River State will own, if it's 7 subjects, we are offering 8 subjects or 10 subjects, depending on the classes, whether junior or secondary, you have these number of books. You go home with it, study with them. All these are to improve, their reading culture and also the academic, performance, so they can compete favorably with students in other parts of the state and even the country. I want to reiterate again that education is free in River State. We have not authorized the collection of any amount of money from any students in public schools, across the state. And I've told parents to report to my office. If they go for admission or resumption of their children in any school, and any principal or teacher, forces the students or tells the students to go and pay some amount of money in the name of whatever, let reports, come to me. Then we'll take an action. So people say, I heard. I say, heard from who? Make an official report. Then I will swing into action. Because as far as I'm concerned, the government of the state, headed by Sir Asmila Ifubara, GSSROS, has not authorized the collection of any fee of any sort, because the continuity and consolidation mantra has it that education is free in River State. I want to remind you that, look, before now, our children, most indigent children from very poor backgrounds, even after attending SS3 or whatever they call them, are unable to pay for the WAEC or NECO registration. The government of the state looked at this. The immediate past government said, no, we shall make education free, make this affordable. So our children who are from very poor background can continue with education and get certificate. That's the notification behind it. And based on that, the WAEC and the NECO conducted senior secondary school certificate examinations were paid for free of charge. Same with the basic education certificate examination, otherwise known as the junior WAEC, free of charge. And that has cost River State some billions of amount of money. Now the new government in River State, headed by Sir Asmila Ifubara, Grand Service of River State, continuing with that. Once he came on board, he approved and released the money for the of River State students who enrolled for work. Same with those who enrolled for the NECO conducted senior secondary school certificate examinations. And these examinations have been successfully completed. And said this will continue because the government is government of continuity and consolidation. So what am I trying to say is that the government of the day is still committed to free education in River State.